French master pâtissier Eric Lanlard has changed the face of British patisserie, earning himself a reputation for not only awe-inspiring cakes, but for a clientele that boasts the likes of Madonna, Elton John, and the Beckhams.
One of my competitors was on television the other day and just said, "We do cake for celebrities." And I said, "We do cake for everybody, including celebrities."
For the first time, he's going to share his tricks of the trade. This isn't just about puddings, it's about Glamour Puds. Drawing in, there's nothing more comforting than tucking into something that's fresh out of the oven. In this edition of Glamour Puds, top pâtissier Eric Lanlard uses some fantastic winter produce, top-class ingredients and a soupçon of French flair to make winter taste great. Coming up, a tarte tatin with a twist. There's not an apple in sight. Eric goes in search of the ultimate baking flour at a traditional flour mill. Half-baked, Eric's winter baking course seems a bit bewildering for some of the students. Plus a meltingly gooey gingerbread soufflé to warm those winter cockles.
Another of my favorite winter dessert, it's a hot and steamy tarte tatin. Traditionally made with apple, I'm going to do it with pears. So the first thing we're going to do is prepare some puff pastry for our base. And it have to be puff pastry. Some people use short crust pastry, but it should be a lovely, flaky puff pastry. Just make sure you're using butter puff pastry, not of this nonsense with oil or margarine inside. So we roll it quite thin because we don't want to, we're not trying to make a vol au vent, you know, we just want a nice crust really. So I'm using this ring to cut it. That's going to be the pan we're using. So the pastry needs to be larger than the pan because we're going to push the pastry on the side to create our crust. So that size is just perfect. The good thing about this dessert is very rustic and it doesn't have to look pretty. So keep that on the side and we're going to prepare our pears. So I'm using some Pear Williams, but you can use any pear, not too soft because they are going to cook for quite a long time in a hot heat of the caramel, so they need to be quite hard. And what I'm doing with the pears is I'm going to pour over it some Pear Williams alcohol, just to boost the taste as well. If you don't want to use the alcohol, just put a bit of lemon juice and that will stop them to get brown. But the alcohol just will enhance the flavors. That's great. And next thing is to get our tin ready. I got some soft butter here, and I'm just gonna rub it all over the pan on the side. That. And I'm just going to sprinkle some preserved sugar all around it. The juice will actually kind of set a bit like a jam, so it will be easier to serve and instead to run everywhere on your plate. So it will keep, mostly when you leave it to rest, so it's quite a good thing to use. So just buy some preserved sugar to make jam and just use it inside. And now we're ready for the hot action. We're going to make the caramel.
Add caster sugar and melt until caramel forms and add a cinnamon stick. Place the pears snugly in the tin and leave to simmer in the caramel.
Here we are. Our pears are beautifully caramelized now. So time to put the pastry before to put it in the oven. So just lift the pastry all over it, give it a little press and just push it down in a gap between the pears. And you can move the pears around to push the extra pastry on the side. And I'm going to take a small knife and I'm going to do some little holes so all the steam from the juice and the caramel can come out. And that's ready to go in the oven.
Cook the tarte tatin for 25 minutes at 220 degrees.
Here, hot and steamy tarte tatin. You can smell the pears and you can smell the cinnamon as well. It's coming through. So, now moment of truth, we have to turn it around. So I'm going to loose it up with a knife on the edges. Wrap it out. Well, that's always something is dramatic to do on the front of your friend. You can even turn it on the front of them. You know, it's always quite impressive. Put the plate, give it got a press as well, and here we are. You have to be careful when you turn it around, because it could be some very hot caramelized juice coming out, so be careful and give it a good check. And here we are, a perfect hot and steamy winter dessert who will have made pride the Demoiselle Tatin.
As you can imagine, uses an awful lot of flour. He's heard there's a watermill in Hertfordshire that still mills its flour in the traditional way.
Wow, that's where it all happened.
This is it. This is where the millstones are, up on the first floor of the mill. And you can see here the organic grain coming down the spout from the hopper above, going into the small hopper above the millstones, and it goes through the top stone, the runner stone. And as the runner stone is rotating just above this one stays still, it gets crushed into the particles of wholemeal flour, and the wholemeal flour falls out the edge, and then it gets brushed downstairs where we bag it up to go out to the bakery.
That's the top stone.
This is the top stone, the runner stone, yeah.
Which kind of weight is that?
They weigh over a ton, and they have to spin at 120 RPM, so it's quite a lot of power.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's run by water?
It should be run by water. Most of the year we have enough water to turn the water wheel. Unfortunately, this time of year we often don't have enough water, so we have a big old oil engine which we use to provide all the power to the mill when the water is low. We only mill organic wheat, rye and spelt at Redbourneberry.
And this is all local, yeah?
All locally grown. It comes from the farm at the top of the hill, so it's grown less than a mile from here. We mill it here on our millstones, and we bake it in the bakery at the front. So we've got the lowest possible food miles you can imagine.
That's very good. These days people love that. They love to know where it all comes from.
People can come down here, they can see it being milled, they can see it being baked, so it's all very accountable.
A final question, the bell there, what's all about?
When you're milling, the only thing holding the stones apart is the grain in between them, and if that runs out, the stones can touch and you get sparks.
Yes.
And it used to set mills on fire. So the bell warns us when the grain's about to run out to avoid the risk of the fire.
So you can stop it
Absolutely,
before it all happens.
Yeah.
Wow, it's fascinating, fascinating. Good, thank you, that's brilliant. Now we've seen how the flour is actually made. Let's see how good it is. I'm going to make a blackberry and apple crumble, my recipe. And this time what I'm going to do, instead to use the traditional way, just plain flour, I'm going to add some wholemeal flour to it as well. So first of all, I got some golden castor sugar and muscovado sugar mixed together. This is unrefined sugar. It's going to give us a much better taste.
The sticky muscovado and golden castor sugar are mixed together. Then the equal amounts of wholemeal and plain flour are combined with soft butter and the mixed sugars, with a little being saved for later. Locally picked apples and blackberries are placed in the baking dish. A good splash of cognac is poured over the fruit. The fruit is covered with the crumble mix, keeping some of those nice lumpy bits. Oatmeal and the last of the mixed sugars are added for that extra crunch.
Oh, here we are. It's been in for 40 minutes now. And I'm pretty excited about this one, to try all this delicious flour, to see what the crumble is going to taste like. It's lovely and bubbly. Perfect. Very good. Very good crumble. Very earthy. Perfect for a nice winter evening or lunchtime after a roast.
Next, Eric's baking up a storm with a bunch of willing students. But are they able? Plus a melt-in-the-mouth hot gingerbread soufflé. Glamour Puds winter baking continues after this.
I'm tongue-tied when you're around. I'm tongue-tied when you're around.
There's nothing better on a cold winter's day than the smell of fresh baking. Well, perhaps there is one thing that's better: eating something that's freshly baked. And it's top patissier Eric Lanlard's mission to show you just how easy it can be to bake mouth-watering treats at home. Still to come, the secret to baking a perfect melt-in-the-mouth gingerbread soufflé. Today, there's a winter baking course at the Cookery School in Battersea. There are a class of 6 who all come from very different backgrounds, but are all very keen to work with Eric.
Hello, hello everybody. Hello. So today it's all about winter baking, and personally I'm just thinking about spices, booze, a lot of booze, all these different flavors like cinnamon things. So we're gonna do an hell fruit loaf, which is based on beer really, with perfect recipe for to eating with cheese or to be toasted with butter, warm butter and honey on the top. The good news is I'm not gonna cook anything. You are gonna cook everything. So if you can work in group of 2, you got all the ingredients here. So if you start to weigh them. For this one, you need to do a double recipe to make 2 loaves. But the first thing is to put an apron because we are gonna get seriously dirty.
Lois is an experienced home cook, baking regularly for her family, although she may have to help out Maria, who's just left home and admits she can't cook. Paola and Jenny are experienced cooks who are opening their own cake shop and are hoping to pick up some tips from Eric. Whilst Natalie and Lucy are total novices. Lucy is still at college but is keen to learn. Eric is starting the course with a simple ale fruit loaf, perfect for a cold winter's night.
Okay, start straight for the beer.
First of all, our girls have to weigh out the dried fruits and cover with a good, strong ale. The fruit is gently heated, not boiled. Eric's novices, Natalie and Lucy, seem a little unsure.
Are you fruit inside?
No.
Okay.
We're sort of prepping.
Okay.
The fruits in and mix it all together.
Okay. I think it's better to use a paddle. Let me give you a paddle. You're better than that.
Paddle. Definitely.
Sugar, flour, mixed spice and eggs are added to the fruit, and the mixture is added to the greased loaf tins. Eric encourages his class to follow the recipe and ask for help as and when. For the 2 girls, that time is now.
There we go.
What do we do now?
But this is the beauty of baking. If you weigh your ingredients carefully, follow a recipe, even a novice like Lucy can create something really special.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy, weapon.
There we go. Done.
Right, now we're in a half.
It's in.
It's in. Have you got a what?
So I reckon we're ahead of the game.
Well, not technically
Oh,
ahead,
they
because
put
everybody
theirs
else
in the
has already got
oven.
theirs in the oven.
That's what I like to see. Everybody doing the washing up. That's very good.
It smells like Christmas.
I think we're good.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's perfect. That's it. So you can just pour it
Yep.
in and divide by 2.
Nice recipe, wasn't it? Yes.
Easy.
Do you know what they say in France? The only thing to drink with cakes is champagne. So the only thing we need is a cake. Can we have a volunteer so it's ready? Are you ready to?
If you dare.
Let's cut it. It's probably just a bit too fresh anyway, so you should leave it, for a day before you slice it. But I'm sure we will manage to.
Oh, it looks lovely.
Thank you. Oh, it's nice.
You sound really surprised.
I know she sounds very surprised.
I was seriously expecting it to be like rock or something. Oh, it's really moist, isn't it?
No, it's very moist. Perfect winter baking. Glass of champagne, spicy, warm cake. To winter baking, and well done, everybody. Cheers. Cheers.
I'm really proud of myself because I didn't think it would look that fantastic. Big head. But no, I'm really, really pleased. I've picked up lots of tips.
Because we always cook on our own. If we mess up, there's no one to say, you can't do it like that. You only know when it comes out the oven. And then you've wasted it. So it's fantastic. For me personally, yeah, absolutely.
I literally thought it was just going to be an absolute disaster, but it wasn't. So it sort of does restore in me some faith that, I can cook slightly, I think.
Eric's a bit of a glutton for punishment and heads home for some more baking.
This recipe I'm going to make, it's got all the flavors of Christmas. The ingredient of a gingerbread, but in a soufflé with extra chocolate in it. Pure richness and indulgence. The first thing I'm going to do is to prepare our ramekins. So I got some nice, lovely deep one, oven proof, and I'm going to brush some melted butter on the edges and on the bottom. That's going to help our soufflé to rise. But as well as that, I'm going to coat them with a little bit of caster sugar. So I'm just going to tap, tap, tap like this, just to make sure we coat all the inside. And the next step is going to hold up over the stove. We're going to melt our chocolate with all the Christmassy ingredients.
Melt some chocolate in a bain-marie. Add egg yolks and butter and stir. Add ground ginger, ground cinnamon, dark rum and some vanilla.
So now the most important ingredient of our recipe, the egg white. So we're going to whisk them up in a very clean bowl. Any trace of grease or dirt on it will avoid the egg white to rise. That's perfect. So the chocolate cooled down a bit, the mixture, and first step is to put one good spoon and to mix it very well. That's just to loosen up a bit our chocolate mixture. And just so you can prepare this recipe in advance and just fill your ramekin and put them in the fridge. And people overcook them as well. You have to remember when you put something for the oven, it's still cooking. And I don't think you should do more soufflé if you've got more than 8 people at the dinner party. Because by the time you serve to everybody else, all the others are going to be overcooked, and the first one's going to be collapsing, and it's just not a pretty sight, really. Right, so that's ready. We're just going to spoon them in our ramekin, and I'm filling the ramekin right to the top. With a palette knife, I just so that's going to be ready to go in the oven for 11 minutes.
place the soufflé in the oven at 180 degrees.
Here we are, this is exactly 11 minutes. And look at this, it's already bursting with flavors. So I'm just gonna dust it a little bit with icing sugar. And I'm gonna transfer it on the plate like this. And now the magic moment. Just cut the crust like this and open it and just pour some cold custard inside. You can see how lovely and gooey the center is. Hold the flavors of the winter and Christmas in a hot chocolate soufflé.
For details of this dish and all recipes featured in the series and exclusive content, check out the website details at the end of the show. Next time, Mogador blackcurrant infused mousse with a Tahitian vanilla creme brulee centre. Eric throws a dinner party. Plus a light pistachio and honey syllabub with an explosive sidekick. Everything you need to know to have a decadent dinner party when Glamour Puds continues.
I'm tongue-tied when you're around.